back with kind of part two here. The Avata kind of first look video. We did an unboxing, and now we're going to do like a kind of a setup video to get you going here. So we're going to go to the desktop portion of the video now. Now that you've got your, your Avata unboxed, and you got everything charged up, you got to charge, of course, your battery up here, and you can see that you got a full charge by just hitting that button once, and you'll see the 4 bars there indicating full battery. Same thing, you got to charge, this up here, and you charge this right on the bottom here. It's a USB-C. So, and I don't know if I told you this, the Avata does not come with a charging brick, so you have to have your own charging brick, and to get a charge, they do give you a USB-C to USB-C cable, but no charging brick. So that's how you charge this. You charge. You have to pull the battery out. I showed you how. I showed you the little charging kind of plate. You came with it in the previous video, and the goggles. You charge them up on the bottom here. They have a USB. C port right there that you can use that wire I showed you a minute ago, plug it into a charging brick. I use my Mavic 3 charging brick, for instance, to charge up. So, okay, so once you get everything fully charged here, you want to use, if you're a iOS Apple guy, they give you this connector here with a USB-C and a USB-A adapter. So what I did is I grabbed this, which does not come with the drone. You have to have this laying around. This is a typical Apple cord you get with all your iPhones, and you want to plug this into this adapter here, and you want to plug this into the bottom port. The charging port that I showed you is also like a data port, so you want to plug it in there, and then you want to get your iPhone out. I just happen to have a iPhone handy over here, so you want to plug it into the lightning port in the bottom. You want to, of course, open your phone there and go to the DJI Fly app, and you want the latest version. Sorry, I can't get this focused here. It's too bright. There's the DJI Fly app up there. So you want to open that up and upgrade to the latest version. I don't know the numbers off the top of my I got a DJI question in here, but you want to get the latest version, which just came out the day that the Mavic 3 Pro came out, which would have been Tuesday, the 25th of April. So once you got that latest version of the app, you want to turn everything on. I don't know if it's in particular, but turn all the devices on, and then the Fly app will, not only link all the 3 devices, because you need to be linked up. If you just try to fly without linking up, things will not connect. So you want to, again, you want it to link up, and then even just as important now, you want all the firmware updates to be done, because this is again, Explorer Combo. The motion controller 2 has to be updated to work with the drone. I made the mistake. I didn't make a mistake. I don't think so. Anyhow, all 3 things have to be firmware updated: the drone, the Motion 2, and the goggles. And I think I tried to do that on the 25th, the day that the updates came out for the Mavic 3 and the Mini 3 Pro. And it was some server problems today. I think I've only got one of the 3 updates done. So later on that day, I went back and ran it again, and did the other 2 updates. I think I only had the goggles updated that day, did not have the Motion 2 and the drone updated that early in the morning on the 25th. But by that afternoon, I'd got all 3 devices updated. Again, all you do is turn them all on, hook the goggles up to the phone, and it'll do the update across all 3 devices, kind of wirelessly, because at that point, just with them being on. So it sounds a little bit confusing, but it's real easy. Just the thing is, you have to make sure all 3 firmware updates got done. And I think I stopped at the first update, maybe because the other ones weren't there because of the server issue. Anyhow, the explanation doesn't matter. All it matters is I did not complete all 3 firmware updates when I first went through this process, and I had to go back a second time, do the same thing, turn all the devices on, get the Fly app going, and let the firmware updates complete across the other two devices. So, my bad, my mistake. The reason doesn't matter why it happened, and it was easily fixed. Because I had an issue at first where I contacted a couple of my, YouTube millionaire friends with drone channels, and said, "Hey, I can't get the motion controller to the bind with the Avata." And again, the reason being that this had to been updated. Well, both of them had to be updated to work together. Because I guess out of the box it was only updated to work with Emotion One. I don't know, but anyhow, got all that problem solved. So that is kind of the first big step to get towards your first flight, is to get all three devices on the most current firmware update. And of course, to get a memory card. You've heard about this in all the videos. If you can see this, there is a little hatch down here that you have to open to get the memory card in. Requires a little bit of a pull there. I pulled it out. I did get the memory card in. I mean, people talk about it being impossible. I did not find it was impossible. It wasn't easy, but it wasn't impossible. It's also a USB-C slot in there too. I don't know, what that's for in particular, but there is one in there. So the only thing I don't know at this point is whether I have to take the memory card out after every flight, or whether there is a wireless method of getting the footage that you shot on that memory card over to a computer or a phone, or whether I have to pull that memory card out every time. I did not know that yet. I haven't done any research on it yet, but I will talk to some people on that. And of course, if it requires a physical connection to do that, you have to use that port there, that USB-C port, plug in your computer. Well, that would be just as hard as pulling the memory card out. So that's not a good option either, if they have to do a wired connection. But if you could wirelessly sync this over, like you can your Mini 3 Pro or your Mavic 3, or any of the Mavic 3s that gets to this point where you can wirelessly get the information over. That would be a big help on this drone. On those drones, it's easy to pop the memory card out, but this one, it's not so easy. Not impossible, but not very easy. So I think, let me put that back in again here. It's not that hard, but now that I'm trying to show you on camera, it will be. Let's see here. Okay. And the important thing is, I've heard this a million times in videos, you got to make sure it's snapped back in there properly, because of course, if it comes loose in flight, your blades could hit that and it could cause a crash. So you want to make sure that thing is really popped back in there tight, and it kind of makes a good snap, so you kind of know when you got it in there. But again, just make sure that thing is all the way popped back in again. So that's you're most of the way there, to your first flight. And the Mini 3, the Avata does have some onboard storage. I don't know how much that is. I don't know how much you could quote on the onboard storage, but it does have a little bit of onboard storage. So again, I think I've got you most of the way here to your first flight here. You really don't need the phone except to get your updates done. On that on that first flight. So, and I did do a little review here. Here is a product from Start RC. It goes on the back of the drone. I'm not going to do it now. I have a full video, but it kind of adds some wings to it. Plus, this is supposedly a way to lock the battery in, because a lot of people, especially the early Avatas, they would hit a crash. They'd have a crash and their battery would pop out, and they couldn't find their battery, and they couldn't use Find My Drone because it didn't have the battery in it. So, I haven't had a crash yet, so I don't know. I mean, I've only had really 2 flights, and basically just a flight and a half. So I haven't hit anything yet. So, I haven't been able to test it, whether it does keep the battery in. But I have a full video on this, this thing here, the unboxing and so on. So I'll link that down below someplace. So anyhow, that is kind of part 2 here of my kind of beginner's guide, part 1 for getting up and running with the DJI Avata Explorer kit comes with the drone, the motion controller too, and the DJI goggles Integra. So again, we will come back with more in this series here of the Avata Beginner's Guide. So all right. Thanks, and we will, see you on the next edition of the Avata Beginner's Guide.